The best that he said for African Americans is, what do you have to lose? Right? Essentially saying you live in a horrible situation now. And I would say for most people that are black, there are problems in the African American community, as there are problems in the white community and Hispanic community. But we don't all get up in the middle of a war zone every damn day. That's not kind of what happens. There is nothing that he's mentioned that will benefit African Americans specifically.
The 2016 election season between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton has been nothing short of a messy boxing match between two completely opposite opponents. However, there is one theme that has made a few cameo appearances during the campaign, and that is the matter of race.
I feel like this year both the candidates are just trying to appeal to the minorities. Like, they automatically assume they have the majority of the population on lock. So they're just trying to coax and appeal to the blacks and Hispanics of the country, and just trying to say that, oh, I will do more for you than the other candidate will.
So I think that this election has really been about thinking more critically about like who we are as a nation, and like calling out people that like maybe people from oppressed groups have like been saying that this racism or like anti-immigrant sentiment or like xenophobia has been like beneath the surface the whole time, but like now that's out in the open, like we're being forced to have more conversations about it.
But why in the year 2016 is the issue of race finally gaining national attention?
That in the age of social media, like information is so much more easily spread and like so widely disseminated that like there's really no excuse for people not to know what's going on with like police brutality in the black community, or like racism built into schools or prisons or like any other number of institutions and systems. So I think that if Hillary chose not to talk about race, or like didn't make it like a central part of her campaign and her platform, then like she would lose a base of support that she actually needs to get elected.
However, students say that racism surrounding the campaign has had an effect on race relations on campus.
Yeah, the campaign this year is just further divided us on this campus, because they're two very opposite candidates.
In a campus setting, like we're always talking about ideas, always thinking, always pushing back against things that we don't agree with, but I think this election has made it a lot more acceptable to be visibly and blatantly racist. And so I feel that like on campus it's led to like an increase in tensions and like conflict between different racial groups, but then also like it's brought about some really painful things in relationships, and people realize that like people that they thought were their friends like support a candidate who supports policies that would like put them in danger and marginalize them further.
Dr. Nathaniel French, who teaches African American rhetoric and is a director of the Magnolia Scholars Program on campus, explains why the rhetoric behind Trump's campaign is gaining him national attention and support.
I think that some people were born Methodist, so they're going to be a Methodist. Just like some people were born Baptist, they'll be a Baptist. Some people are born Republican, and they'll just be Republicans. I don't think they're really looking at the issues or looking at him. They're following the party, and so you stick with your team. There are some people that are just going to follow that. I think there's also, we have to accept some individuals that believe that he's right, in that whites, specifically whites that aren't as well educated, not necessarily college educated, specifically men who lost jobs in technical and manufacturing fields, feel like they've been mistreated or left behind by America in the last 20 or 30 years. Those individuals are angry and they're mad, and they are for whatever reason deciding that Trump is the best answer. Even in interviews when some people said, I don't think he'll do any of that, but at least he said it. What he says makes me feel better. Right. And those are the racist statements about Mexicans, the racist statements about Muslims, the commentaries about African Americans, right? Those things all count, right? Mm-hmm. The issues about those that were disabled, issues that he's made about women, all these things kind of count in exclusionary rhetoric and an avowedly racist rhetoric that making America great again seems eerily familiar to make America white again.
With the election being as controversial as it is, students believe that the best solution is to simply get out and vote.
Everybody just needs to do their research before they vote, and remember that the president isn't the only person that we're voting for this year. You have your state representatives, your senators, other things like that. State representatives and the smaller elections are what will affect you the most, because they have the most power in your area.
it's super easy to get bitter and like turned off from politics this election cycle, just because a lot of the rhetoric has been so divisive, and like some of the stuff has been like so horrifying and shocking that like you can get kind of numb and like turned off from it. But I think it's really important to stay engaged.